Hey there, it's Dee. It's Tea with Dee. It's another tip time. And if you watched the previous video, you recognize the lip gloss because why would I bother taking it off? I already know that it's not going to stick to my teeth. Woo woo. So today we are going to talk about different sounding mouths. Now, what on God's green earth do I mean by that? Well, as a voice actor, one of the things you have to always be really aware of is how your sound is coming out, right? So while the lipstick one from the last one is when you're on camera and they can see you, what we're talking about today applies to both when they can't see you and when they can see you. So a lot of people worry about, getting a dry mouth when they are speaking, performing on camera for any length of time, or just generally. And for some people, they get a really dry mouth because they're nervous, right? Well, you might not know this, but there is a percentage of the population that has a really wet mouth or what I call a juicy mouth. So instead of them having to hydrate, and we'll talk about effective ways to hydrate in the next tip, instead of that, they actually have an abundance of saliva. And that you'll notice that in their sort of everyday speaking, but when they're anxious, it will become even more so. So it can get to the point where you'll actually see, and this is kind of nasty, but just it's a true thing. You actually will see some sort of spit, like almost it looks like a little bit of foaming at the corners of their mouth, and you'll often see that they get really dry in here because of that constant moisture. Sorry, but you know me, I like to keep it real. So why have I been waving a green apple in your face? Well, because if you are a person that suffers from juicy mouth, which makes you sound really when you're being recorded or when you're speaking, this little baby is your friend, because what this will actually do is the acid in it will cause your salivary glands, so your little juicers down here, to constrict. So they'll actually kind of go, right? Like dudes when they go in cold water. So what you'll do is you'll take a slice or two. Like this isn't, you don't have to eat the whole apple. And if you're going to be speaking for any length of time, just don't eat the whole apple because you're probably going to need it again on a break. Okay. So you can eat a slice of the apple, chew it really, really well. Okay. Now, if you don't like green apples, I don't like green apples. You can chew them and then spit them out. You're going to have to live with the flavor, I'm sorry to tell you. And by the way, don't sub out other kinds of apples because these ones are the tartest, and that's going to give you the best effect. A sweet apple, like a red delicious apple, it'll taste good, but it isn't going to help you any. So yeah, if you or someone you know suffers from juicy mouth and they've got a lot of fluid and it gets kind of goopy and gross, and you can really hear it when they're being recorded or they're speaking, then you can give them an apple and say, I have a trick for you from D. It works like a hot damn. Okay, see you next time.